Hello, this is Miriam of AfricaTalentbank.com, ATB. You can also find us on Facebook /AfricaTalentBank. So in our previous podcast, we discussed pre-interview stage, where we looked at mindset, we looked at preparations before your interview, and now we look at the interview stage. So this is where you've been invited to interview. What do you do? And a few candidates do get this wrong. So when you're invited to interview, reply with a polite email or SMS if that is the platform that they contacted you on. If they emailed you, it is important that you email back. Keep it professional. And so just confirm your attendance at the interview. If for whatever reason you're unable to attend this interview, i.e. you've already accepted another job offer, or you're unable to attend because of a hospital appointment or an exam, then politely decline or explain the reasons why you are unable to attend at the date and time specified by the manager. And to be honest, even if you have been offered another job, don't ignore that email. The number of people who simply ignore invitation to interview emails, don't burn your bridges. Just politely decline and explain that you have accepted another role and that you are unable to therefore attend this interview. Please do not ignore emails, especially from recruiting managers. It seems to be a habit at the moment. And again, the person who replies to email, it shows professionalism, and you never know, because that HR manager could be the HR manager in 3 years' time at a company that you want to work for. Okay? So if, for example, you have a hospital appointment or an exam, politely ask for an alternative appointment. So, don't think because you can't make it on Wednesday at 10 a.m. that's the end of the world. Politely ask for an alternative. And usually they will try and work around this because they know there are sometimes, people will have appointments that they're unable to get out of. But don't ignore an interview invitation, even if you have another job. Now, the other thing when you reply, even if the invitation has been sent by SMS, never use SMS speak when communicating with a recruiter. Maintain professional standards at all times. The other thing I would recommend is for you to go on a reconnaissance trip before your interview. So visit the company, i.e. a reconnaissance, before your interview. And this is to establish and confirm the exact location of the company, as well as to also gauge how long your journey will take to your interview. So take a few minutes while you're there, observe the people coming in and out. What is the culture like, i.e. dress code, demography, etc. But I always say dress in a professional manner, even if everyone is dressed in jeans and shirts are hanging out. But I would definitely recommend a reconnaissance trip if possible, because then on the interview date, you don't have to worry about maps and what have you. Just get on that matatu or walk or taxi and just focus on the interview rather than Google Maps. And in terms of interview dress code, unless your name is Bill Gates or Mark Zuckerberg, then it's better to dress smart and conservatively than to dress too casual like Mark Zuckerberg. Only Mark Zuckerberg can get away with a board in a board meeting with or a panel of experts wearing a hoodie, but you can't. So for gentlemen, we would advise a suit and tie if it's not too hot, or at least a nice light shirt with dark trousers, and of course avoid jewelry if you're a man. I mean, apart from a watch or a wedding ring, there's no need for these big chains and wrist bracelets and what have you. For ladies, we would advise a skirt and a smart blouse, or a suit, or a smart simple dress. But your outfit should not be too short, ladies, and not too much. Don't emphasize too much skin as well. And again, we would emphasize to ladies not to wear too much jewelry and keep your earrings simple rather than long, dangling. And then while you're speaking, you've got all these bangles sounding all over the place. So remember, this is to get the job. Once you have the job and the place allows you to dress as you like, then that's different. But do everything you can to get that job. And it's also wise to get dark suits because you may have to attend 2 or 3 interviews with a company. And so if you're able to just change your shirt, they won't notice it's the same suit. I mean, hopefully you also clean it. But, if you have a black or navy or grey suit, just make sure you change your different color shirts, because then you don't have to go out there and buy 3 different outfits, especially if money is tight. And of course, ensure clothes are fresh and not sweaty. In terms of shoes, once again, stick with dark colors. If it's an interview, ladies, heels are fine as long as they're reasonably high and not to the point where you need to clutch onto someone just to get up the stairs. But we would say for interviews, try and stick to closed shoes as well, gentlemen as well as ladies, of course. Going to an interview in sandals, well, it depends on the company, but we would say just be a bit more conservative, especially for corporate interviews. Now, in terms of your personal hygiene, this is not comfortable to read, but it's important that you don't arrive at interviews sweating, i.e. avoid body odor. Always use a deodorant. Arrive early so you can use the bathroom to check yourself and to freshen your breath. Eat a mint, but not chewing gum. I cannot emphasize, do not chew gum during your interview. And then again, if you have a cold and you need to sneeze, then do so into a handkerchief, not your hand. So if you're offered tea, coffee, or water at the interview, it's always handy to have a glass of water nearby, because nerves can often result in a dry mouth. And also when you're nervous, it's not always easy to balance a hot cup of tea. So perhaps just a glass of water will do. And in terms of interview questions, obviously the hiring managers know your credentials from your CV and cover letter, but they want to get a good sense of how clearly you communicate and support your qualifications. So when they ask you questions, try and be friendly, such as, tell us a little bit about yourself. Why did you leave your last job? How, was it easy finding us today? Don't just answer in yes, no. Try and be a bit friendly, but not, you don't want to spend half an hour telling them about the village you came from and that it was a rainy season that year. Just make it relevant to the role. So I hope these interviews will help you. Until next time, goodbye.